Hello there, very good evening and welcome to the news tonight. This is your one stop for the day's top stories from India and across the world. I'm Tracy Shilshi and here are the headlines. As the death toll in the Mathura clashes rises to 24, UP Chief Minister Akhilesh Yadav admits to serious lapses. Questions also rise over how the offending group was allowed to accumulate arms. In Tunisia, Vice President Ansari underlines the need to eradicate global terrorism, says it can be achieved only by organized international action. Several candidates elected unopposed to the Rajya Sabha, Union Minister Piyush Goyal and former Ministers P. Chidambaram, Praful Patel among those elected. And at least 12 people are killed as floods wreak havoc in France and Germany. Thousands are evacuated as many more remain without power. Our top story this evening, violence in Mathura for the second day today as protests continued against an anti-encroachment drive with a death toll now touching 24. Those killed include the city SP and an SHO. More than 360 people have been arrested while the hunt is on for another 200, including the head of the sect that targeted the policemen. DM Rajesh Kumar and SSP Rakesh Kumar have been suspended for negligence, while the Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister has admitted to lapses in the operation. But questions remain over how the sect accumulated the huge tranche of weapons without causing any suspicion.
At least 24 people have been killed and over 100 injured in Mathura during clashes between police and encroachers as a drive to evict illegal occupants from government land took a violent turn. Clashes broke out on Thursday when police tried to evict the members of a sect who had been occupying a park for 2 years. Among those killed in the firing were an SHO and a superintendent of police. The police has recovered a sachet of arms and spent bullets from AK-47 rifles and arrested over 365 people in connection with the incident. Meanwhile, hunt is on for the 4 men accused in the clashes.
कुल मिलाकर 22 उपद्रवी जान गंवा चुके हैं, जिनमें से 11 आग में झुलसकर मरे हैं। वो आग जो उन्होंने खुद लगाई थी। जो लोग गिरफ्तार हुए हैं उनके विरुद्ध NSA लगाने के लिए कार्रवाई की जाएगी। विशेष रूप से ऐसे लोग जो इस पूरे जो इलीगल एक्टिविटी थी और अराजक तत्व थे और पूरा अराजकता फैलाना चाह रहे थे।
Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Akhilesh Yadav, however, admitted that there was some lapses on the part of administration and intelligence network. He also announced an ex gratia of 20 lakh rupees to the family of the deceased policeman.
जो घटना हुई उसकी जांच भी हालांकि कमिश्नर स्तर पे जांच की जाएगी और जो दोषी हैं उनके खिलाफ कानून के अंदर कार्रवाई होगी। चूक भी है और मैं समझता हूं पुलिस को पूरी बातचीत और तैयारी के साथ उनसे बातचीत भी करनी थी और पुलिस पूरी तैयारी के साथ वहां जाना चाहिए था, लेकिन जानकारी में नहीं था कि इतना कुछ उनके पास होगा।
Meanwhile, the Home Ministry has said there was lapse on the part of the Uttar Pradesh government. The centre has also sought a report from the state government.
जो कुछ भी हुआ एक बड़ा हादसा था, बड़ी घटना थी और मैं समझता हूं कि उत्तर प्रदेश सरकार इसकी जांच कराएगी और जो भी इसके लिए दोषी हैं मैं समझता हूं कि उन्हें दंडित किया जाना चाहिए।
मथुरा की जो घटना है और वरिष्ठ पुलिस अधिकारी मारे जाना, ये बहुत बड़ा एक चूक हुआ है और राज्य सरकार को देखना चाहिए।
As police work to contain the situation continues, political parties have called for a judicial probe into the matter.
तमाम वैसे वेपन्स जो जिनका कोई लाइसेंस नहीं था, वो सब उनके पास वहाँ पर उपलब्ध थे। मैं कहना ये चाहता हूँ कि उत्तर प्रदेश के मुख्यमंत्री बहुत ही संवेदनहीन, गैर जिम्मेदार मुख्यमंत्री का परिचय दे रहे हैं।
जानबूझकर पुलिस अधिकारियों को मरवाया है, इसके पीछे षड्यंत्र है। पहले जमीन पर कब्जा कराओ और फिर अपने जो प्यादे हैं, जो गुर्गे हैं, उनसे पुलिस पर गोली चलवाओ। तो इसकी जानकारी पूरी तरह से अखिलेश सरकार को थी।
People who have publicly occupied government land are punished, murderers are brought to book, and government of Akhilesh Yadav, Sappa government which is found sleeping, it wakes up from its slumber and take decisive action.
जबरन भूमि हड़पने जैसी घटनाओं में संलिग्न लोग इस तरह से पुलिस और प्रशासन के साथ पेश आएंगे, ये मेरी उम्मीद से बाहर की चीज़ थी। मैं चाहता हूं कि दोषियों के खिलाफ सख्त कार्रवाई हो।
Over 2 years ago, nearly 3,000 people had illegally set up camp on an over 260-acre plot in Jawahar Bagh on the pretext of a dharna. The Allahabad High Court recently ordered their eviction. Ravinder Shoran's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
In fact, Ravinder Sharan is joining us now live from Mathura for an update on what's the situation there. Ravinder, first of all, if you can give us a quick update on how the situation stands.
Yeah, Tracy, right now the police has launched a massive manhunt for the 4 people who have been absconding. The local police has declared 4 persons absconding, which includes the leader of this whole movement, Ram Vriksh Yadav, his 3 more important lieutenants, which has Girish Kumar, Rakesh Gupta and Chandan Bose. One of them, Chandan Bose, has been claimed by the police that he is associated in some Naxal activities also. But no independent source has confirmed this information so far. But the information which we are getting from our sources is that Chandan Bose was earlier found involved in many Naxal movement activities as well. Right now, many teams under the special investigation team has been operating now in different cities and districts of the UP and nearby states, also to apprehend all the 4 accused. And the UP police has launched an FIR, and they have by now they have arrested more than 390 people under the various sections of Indian Penal Code and the Criminal Amendment Act. This the whole event which has been unfolded last night, which took 24 people. People stole, and unfortunately 2 important officers which were very decorated and brave officers, including Mukund Dwivedi, the very senior police of SP and SHO Santosh Yadav, has been killed in the incident which has happened last night. Right now, the politics is also going on in this issue.
That's
the
right.
BSP has opened a scathing attack
Yes.
on the utter lawlessness of the situation which is happening right now. They are claiming that they are accusing the Samajwadi Party, Akhilesh Yadav-led government, that the government should resign right now on the moral grounds, or the center should immediately dismiss the government.
Absolutely,
Also,
which is
the
why this
BJP
probe,
and Congress
which
are
is why
also
this probe
attacking
that has
on
been
the,
initiated is so necessary to
present
get to
situation
the
which is
answers that
happening right
everyone's
now in the-
asking, especially the political parties. Ravinder, we'll have to leave it there. Thanks so much for the moment. We do hope the situation stays calm, even though at the moment still quite tense at the moment in Mathura. We'll keep an eye out for developments there. Meanwhile, before winding up his 2-nation tour to Morocco and Tunisia, Vice President Mohammed Hamid Ansari called for the need to eradicate global terrorism. In his address at the Tunisian Institute of Strategic Studies, the Vice President also said that India was making relentless efforts to contribute to the development of an equitable and sustainable future to the world.
On the last day of his 2-nation visit, Vice President Mohammed Hamid Ansari addressed the Tunisian Institute of Strategic Studies in capital Tunis. Flagging terrorism as an area of common concern, Vice President Ansari said that global terrorism has emerged as a threat to pluralist and open societies, which can only be defeated by organized international action.
Terrorism today has global reach. No city remains safe. There is a new level of threat to pluralist and open societies. Our structures, the old structures of terrorism also remain. There are countries that still use it as an instrument of state policy. There can be no distinction between good and bad terrorists. A terrorist is a terrorist. One who commits crime against humanity cannot have any religion or be afforded any political sanctuary.
Hailing bilateral ties between India and Tunisia, the Vice President said both countries have a similar approach on many issues. He expressed hopes of a prosperous and peaceful future with deepening commercial and political interactions. The Vice President also said that India has a vital stake in the stability, security and economic well-being of West Asia and North African region and was willing to expand its strategic and economic partnership.
Our bilateral trade with the region in the year 2014-15 was about $49.58 billion and is expected to grow further despite the economic downturn. We also look to this region for ensuring our energy security and for commodities like phosphates. This region, with its young population and natural resources, has tremendous growth potential. It can act as a bridge between three continents of Asia, Africa, and Europe.
On Thursday, India and Tunisia signed 2 MOUs on the promotion of handicrafts and information technology after Vice President Ansari and Tunisian Prime Minister held one-on-one talks. A decision to train 350 Tunisian students in the next 5 years in India was also taken. Before heading into the talks, the Vice President also visited the Zaytuna Mosque, the Bardo Museum and the House of Representatives. Vishal Jain and Anu Diwan's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
Back home, several candidates were elected unopposed to the Rajya Sabha on Friday after the process of withdrawal of nominations came to an end. Union Minister Piyush Goyal, former Union Ministers P. Chidambaram and Praful Patel and Shiv Sena Sanjay Raut were elected unopposed from Maharashtra. From Bihar, Janata Dal United leader Sharad Yadav, Supreme Court lawyer Ram Jethmalani and RJD chief Lalu Prasad's daughter Meesa Bharti were among 5 candidates declared elected unopposed to the upper house of parliament. While Railways Minister Suresh Prabhu was elected unanimously from Andhra Pradesh, from Tamil Nadu, 4 nominees of the ruling AIADMK and 2 candidates of the DMK were also elected. However, polling for candidates from Rajasthan and Uttar Pradesh will take place on the 11th of June. Meanwhile, in Karnataka, the controversy over allegations of money power playing a role in Rajya Sabha elections refuses to die down. The Election Commission has now asked the state's chief electoral officer for a report on the matter. The controversy arose after a sting operation conducted by 2 private TV channels. The BJP approached the Election Commission on the matter, while a JDS leader has sought cancellation of the polls for Rajya Sabha seats in the state.
Television channels on Thursday has set off a political storm in Karnataka. Several legislators were caught on camera talking about money power playing a role in elections to the Rajya Sabha. While the BJP has approached the Election Commission on the issue, a JDS leader has sought cancellation of polls for 4 Rajya Sabha seats in the state.
It's very unfortunate. It's a blot on the democracy and an institution like Rajya Sabha. Personally, I don't feel that such type of candidates should enter the Rajya Sabha. I am going to talk to my party leadership today itself.
Congress, which is heading the government in Karnataka, has sought to maintain safe distance from the developments, terming them as unfortunate.
None of the Congress leaders are involved. See, no doubt, I am looking at the keeping my flock together. I am also a part of the system with a lot of friends. But as far as JDS is concerned or other concerned, even the other Congress MLAs who have spoken various issues, they have looked at the common scenario of the constituencies of the independent MLAs. Apart from that, none of them have been involved in any financial transactions. Either we have been involved in any financial transactions.
Elections are slated for 4 Rajya Sabha seats from the state on 11th of June. With 45 first preference votes needed to win, the state is witnessing a tough contest for these seats. While JDS, which has 40 MLAs in the assembly, needs 5 more votes for its nominee BM Farooq, the ruling Congress, which has 123 MLAs, needs at least 12 votes for its third candidate. Both sides are banking on the support of more than a dozen independent MLAs in the state assembly, and this has sparked the controversy. Vishal Dahiya, Rajya Sabha TV, Delhi.
And speaking of political controversies, even as speculations fly thick and fast about the fate of Maharashtra Revenue Minister Eknath Khadse, BJP State Unit President Rao Sahib Dave has ruled out any party action against him till the charges are proven. Terming the allegations against Khadse as political, Dave said that the party had adopted a cautious approach towards them as it believed that there was no substance in them. Hinting that the party stood behind the state minister, Dave also said that there was no pressure from the party high command to remove him. Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis, though, had submitted a report on Khadse to BJP Chief Amit Shah in Delhi on Thursday. Khadse came under the cloud of a host of allegations, including irregularities in a land deal in Pune and calls he allegedly received from fugitive underworld don Dawood Ibrahim. He, of course, denies both charges. And now let's get you more national news updates in Nationwide. CPI MP Sri Ramakrishnan was today elected as the new Speaker of the Kerala Assembly. He will be the 14th Speaker of the state. Sri Ramakrishnan secured 92 votes against UDF's candidate VP Sajendran, who got 46 votes in the 140-member House. Three BSF personnel were killed and 4 others critically injured when terrorists attacked their convoy near Bejbihara in the Srinagar-Jammu National Highway on Friday. Additional forces have been rushed to the area, which have been cordoned off by the CRPF and Rashtriya Rifles. No terrorist group has so far claimed responsibility for the attack, but the security establishment believes it to be the handiwork of cadres of a banned Hizbul Mujahideen group. Meanwhile, the Jammu and Kashmir Assembly was adjourned today as opposition MLAs stormed the Speaker's podium to protest against government order allowing mining rights to non-local bidders. Opposition National Conference and Congress MLAs protested against the statutory rules order number 105 that allows a breather of 3 months for non-local bidders to carry on mining operations in the state. The National Green Tribunal today directed the Art of Living Foundation to deposit an environment compensation of 4.75 crore rupees by Saturday. The compensation has been imposed on AOL for damaging Yamuna's biodiversity during its 3-day World Culture Festival held in March this year. The Green Panel also directed the expert committee to inspect the site before the 10th of June and submit a complete and comprehensive report in a sealed cover by the 4th of July. The Delhi police has busted an illegal kidney racket in the city's famous Apollo hospital. The police has arrested 6 people, including the personnel staff of doctors at Apollo hospital. According to the police, the members of the network first sought details of the patients requiring kidneys and then lured poor donors based outside Delhi with the help of middlemen. The police's action came after a tip-off about their presence. The hospital staff, however, distanced itself from the racket and ensured full cooperation with the police. Without a quick break here, we'll be back with more news in a bit. Stay with us.
In 1994, Government of India legislated brain death. When your brain stem is dead, you're gone, no matter what happens to other organs. Till today, from October 2008, we managed around 780 brain dead victims donating their organs.
Watch Eureka with Dr. J. Amalor Pavanathan, Director, Institute of Vascular Surgery, Madras Medical College, only on Rajya Sabha TV.
Welcome back to the news tonight. Now, Prime Minister Narendra Modi sets off on a 5-nation tour to Afghanistan, Qatar, Switzerland, the US and Mexico on Saturday. The focus of the visit will be to broaden India's trade, energy and security cooperation with these countries. There will also be a special focus on India's membership of the 48-member Nuclear Suppliers Group.
The Prime Minister will first travel to Afghanistan, where he will inaugurate the Afghan-India Friendship Dam, earlier known as Salma Dam, in Herat province. He will also hold talks with Afghan President Ashraf Ghani on a range of issues, including the current situation in his country.
The Prime Minister will be leaving for Afghanistan tomorrow, where he would be inaugurating, along with President Ghani, the Afghan-India Friendship Dam, which was earlier called the Salma Dam. After the inauguration, he and President Ghani would be, there would be a lunch hosted by President Ghani. Then the Prime Minister would be going on later in the evening to Qatar.
From Afghanistan, the Prime Minister will travel to energy-rich Qatar, and from there he will leave for a 2-day visit to Switzerland on Sunday. In Switzerland, the Prime Minister is likely to seek the country's support for India's membership of the Nuclear Suppliers Group. The black money issue is also likely to feature in the talks.
We are in touch with the government of Switzerland under the DTA mandate. We've had some discussions about this, and we do expect we have a few more planned in the near future. And there are some, we have received support from Swiss authorities on exchange of information on tax data between the two countries.
From Switzerland, the Prime Minister travels to Washington on 6 June. In the US, Modi will become only the 5th Indian Prime Minister to address a joint session of the US Congress. On 7 June, the Prime Minister is scheduled to meet President Obama. Talks between the two will cover the entire range of bilateral ties.
President Obama spoke to the Prime Minister and mentioned to him that in this year he was inviting some leaders with whom he had a very close and productive working relationship to visit him in the United States. So in many ways you can say it's a sort of a consolidation visit.
In the US, the Prime Minister will also meet business leaders and address the US-India Business Council. His last stop will be Mexico, where he will hold extensive talks with the Mexican president. India's membership bid at the NSG will figure in this too. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
On to international news, and the flood situation in France and Germany remains grim, with more rains expected in the coming days. French capital Paris has been put on a high flood alert as water levels continue to rise in the River Seine, reaching its highest level in over 30 years. Several towns in southern Germany too have been devastated by floods as the death toll reached 10 in the country. Thousands of people have been evacuated and thousands more remain without electricity.
Flash floods due to overflowing rivers continue to bring misery to parts of Germany and France. In Paris, the River Seine is at flood level and has burst its banks at several places. The water is expected to rise and reach 6 meters above its normal level. Days of torrential rains has claimed several lives and forced thousands to evacuate their homes. The French army has joined in the rescue mission in the worst affected areas where a state of emergency has been declared.
On voit que c'est les drames que ça provoque partout, donc je voudrais aussi exprimer ma solidarité avec toutes les victimes, saluer l'effort considérable de tous les services publics et les bénévoles, mais en ce qui nous concerne, protection des personnes, c'est la priorité évidemment, mais s'agissant du fonctionnement de l'État, toutes les précautions sont prises, des systèmes de substitution sont en place.
The threatening rise in the water levels has forced the world-famous Louvre and Ossuary museums to shut down and move priceless artworks to safety.
Les œuvres qui concernent le Louvre ne sont pas aujourd'hui en danger, mais il fallait mobiliser les personnels pour pouvoir déplacer les réserves, pour pouvoir en fait simplement mettre en œuvre ce plan de prévention qui avait été bien défini et préparé et qui se déroule bien.
In Germany too, the floods have created havoc with the death toll reaching double figures and several people still missing. German towns on the Austrian border suffered badly as water came rushing through the streets.
Wir trauern die Menschen, für die Hilfe zu spät kam und die in den Fluten ihr Leben verloren haben. Und natürlich bin ich in Gedanken bei ihren Familien, die mit diesem Verlust fertig werden müssen.
Ich habe das Wasser in der Garage gehabt, ich habe es überall mit drin gehabt, im Keller fast bis zur Decke hoch. Aber ich muss jetzt dazu sagen, ich habe super Nachbarn, wo einer vorbeigeht und sagt, kann ich da was helfen? Und wir helfen alle zusammen.
Belgium, Austria, the Netherlands and Poland have also been affected by the heavy rains, and with more rain forecast in the coming days, the situation is likely to get worse. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
The Indian-American gunman Manuk Sarkar, who shot dead his former college professor at the University of California, Los Angeles, had also killed his wife before taking his own life. Police said that a kill list was found from Sarkar's home in Minnesota and both victims were on the list. The list also contained the name of another UCLA professor who was unharmed. On Thursday, students and faculty members of the university held a candlelight vigil to mourn the death of the deceased professor. On Wednesday, 38-year-old Sarkar shot dead engineering professor William Clark before killing himself in an attack that prompted a 2-hour lockdown of the UCLA campus. The attack appeared to have been provoked by Sarkar's belief that Clark had stolen his computer code.
In the search of Sarkar's residence in Minneapolis, a list was located that had Professor Klug's name on it, another UCLA's professor's name on it, and the name of the female victim that was later located in the nearby town. That list has been described as a kill list. That was the wording that was put on it.
And now let's take you through some more international news updates in Global Buzz. France is hosting foreign ministers from major powers to put Israel-Palestinian peacemaking back on the international agenda. The meeting aims to find enough common ground to bring the two sides back to the table by the end of the year. The gathering of ministers in Paris includes the Middle East Quartet, which comprises the US, Russia, the EU and the UN, as well as the Arab League, the UN Security Council and about 20 countries. Turkey has recalled its envoy to Germany to protest against German MPs declaring the 1915 massacre of Armenians during the World War I as genocide. Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan said that the resolution would seriously affect his country's ties with Germany. He also rejected the idea that the killings of Christian Armenians during World War I amounted to genocide. Iraqi government forces backed by Shiite militia advanced into the outskirts of Fallujah on Thursday in an attempt to recapture the city from Islamic State militants. The Iraqi government has vowed to win back the first major Iraqi city that fell to Islamic State in 2014. Fallujah has been the bastion of the Sunni insurgency that fought both the US occupation of Iraq and the Shiite-led Baghdad movement. Protesters and supporters of Donald Trump clashed in the streets of San Jose in California on Thursday night after the Republican held a rally. Hundreds of protesters waved Mexican flags, chanted anti-Trump slogans and burned Trump hats. The San Jose Police Department said that they made a few arrests after the rally but did not provide any specifics. China is facing flood threats again due to continuous rains in the southern part of the country. Heavy rainfall since the beginning of this year's rainy season has impacted various rivers across China. Water levels in 23 rivers and lakes have surpassed their warning marks. Analysts believe one of the 5 largest freshwater lakes in China will witness a record high water level this year. And finally, let's get you all the latest from the world of sports in SportsBeat. India's campaign at the Indonesia Open came to an end today after ace shuttler Saina Nehwal bowed out of the quarterfinals. Three-time champion Saina Nehwal lost to Spain's Carolina Marin 22-24, 11-21 in straight sets. In fact, Saina had won the Indonesia Open title in 2009, 2010 and 2012. In tennis, defending champion Serena Williams will take on Spain's Gabi Muguruza in the women's singles final of the French Open on Saturday. Seeking her second consecutive French Open trophy and 22nd Grand Slam title overall, Serena defeated Kiki Bertens 7-6, 6-4 in the semi-finals, while Muguruza eased past the 2011 US Open champion Sam Stosur 6-2, 6-4. International Olympic Committee President Thomas Bach on Friday announced the names of refugee athletes who will compete in the Rio Games under the Olympic flag. The IOC Executive Committee had approved the list of 10 athletes and 12 officials for an official refugee team. The majority of the athletes are originally from South Sudan, now living in the Kakuma refugee camp in Kenya. The tax fraud trial of Lionel Messi is scheduled to wrap up on later in fact on Friday. The defense and prosecution lawyers took the stand to take their closing statement a day after Messi and his father Jorge Horacio Messi appeared in Barcelona's High Court. Both are accused by the Spanish tax office of defrauding the government of 4.2 million euros between 2007 and 2009. They could face jail terms of up to 22 months if found guilty. English Premier League champions Leicester City have signed German goalkeeper Ron Robert Zeiler from Hannover 96 for an undisclosed fee on a 4-year contract. Zeiler had made 36 appearances for Hannover. He was previously part of Germany's 2014 World Cup winning squad, although he failed to make an appearance in the tournament. And that's all we have for you in the news tonight. From the entire team here, good night.